Hello everyone, my name is Nilsor and welcome to my vault. Today on Fallout New Vegas 101 we are going to talk about one of your companions, Craig Boone. Born in 2255, Craig Boone is 26 years old when you recruit him, making him the youngest of your possible companions. He spent most of his life inside the New California Republic Army as a sharpshooter in the 1st Recon Unit. Stationed in the Mojave, he participated in what will later be called the Bitter Springs Massacre in 2278. The NCR at the time was hunting down the tribe called the Grand Khans, which was harassing NCR citizens throughout the region. NCR intelligence thought that Bitter Springs was the tribe's headquarters, but it actually was a small town where were living mostly harmless civilians. When the battle occurred, Boone's squad objective was to cut the only other exit of the town while the main troops were attacking from the front. When they saw through their scopes that only civilians, composed of women, children and elderly, were coming out, they called the NCR commander to require instructions. The radio communication was barely working, but they were ordered to shoot everyone down as long as they had ammo. And so they did, butchering everyone. After this, and traumatized by the experience, Boone met Carla while on leave on the New Vegas Strip. He fell in love and quitted the NCR army alongside his friend, Manny Vargas, another NCR sharpshooter. The three of them then went south to the town of Novak, where they started working as sentries, protecting it of raid parties and Legion soldiers from their sniper's nest inside the town's giant dino mouse. Several years went by, and Carla was never happy about the town, considering this place beneath her and wanted to move on. This made her unpopular among the town's residents. She didn't get along with Manny Vargas either. In 2281, Carla was kidnapped by some Legion soldiers who knew exactly how and when they could abduct her, thanks to the town motel's owner, Jenny Mae Crawford, who sold her out for 500 caps. Boone tracked his wife into the Legion camp at Cottonwood Cove. There, seeing that he couldn't free her and wanting to prevent her the fate of slavery, he took his sniper rifle and, as an act of mercy, killed her alongside their unborn child. When he went back to Novak, he confessed to Manny about Carla's death. He broke up their friendship after seeing how his friend seemed relieved about the news. When you meet Boone, he is looking out among Novak's residents to find out who helped in the kidnapping of his wife and is also on a vengeful hunt against any Legion members. Physically, Boone presents himself as a fit individual with tight clothes coming from his state in the army, immediately indicating that he must be effective in combat. He is also always wearing his beret coming from his time in the 1st Recon and doesn't appreciate not having it. He is also wearing a sad expression all the time alongside a mostly monocordial deep voice. Before talking about his personality, let's state that we don't have information about how he was before his time in the NCR army, and therefore we can't be sure how he used to be and how exactly what he went through affected him. Boone is an introverted individual, keeping most of his thoughts to himself unless asked, and is reluctant to share them, keeping people to a distance. If he answers you, he will go straight to the point. His relationship with Carla was the only thing that made him feel calm and happy, even though he never told her out loud that he loved her. The Bitter Springs Massacre left him with big psychological scars, mainly a heavy sense of guilt on his conscience, and suffers from a post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. He has developed several symptoms typical of it, such as the fact that he is re-experiencing the massacre in his dreams. There is a constant reminder of the event seen in how he perceives himself as cursed, because he is now convinced that the bad karma he earned by killing innocent civilians will come strike back, leading to a high level of anxiety and a constant fear of an imminent disaster. He shows clear signs of avoidance, such as the fact that he quitted the NCR army, despite that he is still thinking like if he was still a part of it, as we can see in the use of the word we when asked about NCR-related subjects. He also avoids to talk about Bitter Springs and shut you off if you ask him. He even never told about it to his wife either, even if he wanted to, but never could. He also displays some signs of hypervigilance, which might be gameplay-wise related to his personal spotter perk. He probably suffers from insomnia, which might explain why he was the one on the night shifts during his time as Novak's sentry. He also shows clear signs of irritability when you insist on having answers, and has a violent behavior as perceived in his desire to kill every Legion member. Alongside his PTSD, other symptoms came, such as a depression and a possible substance abuse considering the amount of alcohol and drugs in his apartment. With all this, Boone developed suicidal thoughts and behavior, which is probably why he wears close to no armor despite the fact that he is looking out for a fight. He will only start protecting himself more once you've helped him during his personal quest. He sees his death as the only way to make up for all the bad he did at Bitter Springs. The only way for the player to make Boone talk is to earn trust points to advance his personal quest. These points are granted when doing actions that have to do with Boone's thirst for vengeance, or act when an hostage situation is at hand. The player can therefore only help him evolve from his current state of mind by fulfilling his desire for revenge or making him revive his traumatic experiences. On a more meta level, if you look at his name, Boone is derived from bon in French, meaning a good blessing, something to be grateful for. This is quite ironic considering everything that has happened to him and the state of mind that he is in. Overall, the character of Boone also fits well within some of the themes of New Vegas, notably through his inability to move on from his past and being stuck on it by reviving it. Just like Mr. House, the NCR and the Legion are unable to think of new ways to lead humanity and only rely on previous ways of doing so. To recruit him, you will need to complete the One for My Baby quest. To know how, please go check out the video about Novak. Having Boone with you will have you benefit from his spotter perk, which will make enemies glow when you are aiming with the scope. Note that Boone is always hostile against the Legion and will engage combat against them, forcing you to fight even if you are in good terms with Caesar. Also, if you have either a negative reputation with the NCR or a positive one with the Legion, he will refuse to come with you. To activate his personal quest, you will be required to have scored 5 trust points with Boone. To do so, you will need to have him with you and do certain actions. Kill Vulpes in Kulta whether when you meet him at Nipton, outside of the Tops Casino, or inside Caesar's tent for 1 point. Kill Caesar for 2 points. Rescue the hostages during the Booted quest in Nipton for 2 points. During the quest back in your own backyard in Cape Fallen Hope, kill the hostages to score 1 point, or save them to score 2 points. Kill Silas at Cape Macaron for 1 point. During the I Put a Spell on You quest at Cape Macaron, confront and kill the spy in the act, and also disarm the monorail bomb for 2 points in total. Kill all the legionaries during the Eye for an Eye quest given by First Sergeant Astor near Camp Searchlight for 2 points. To activate the quest, you will also need to talk to either Manny Vargas in Novak or Bitterroot in Camp Macaron about their time in the NCR and what happened at Bitter Springs. Once all these criteria are met, talk to Boone about Bitter Springs and suggest to go there again. He will refuse at first. Later on, he will come back to you and ask you if you can go there with him. Agree and travel inside Bitter Springs. Boone will talk about what happened during the battle and will ask to go to the Coyote Tail Ridge where he was stationed. Go there and talk to him again to learn more about the battle, notably about the civilians Boone had killed. He will then ask to spend the night here. Accept his request. When you wake up, talk to him. He will have spotted a Legion raiding party that is coming to Bitter Springs to take people into slavery, as there are easy prey there with little to no defense. Rush to Bitter Springs and defeat the 3 groups of legionaries that will attack here again, and from there. When the battle is over, Boone will come talk to you, surprised that he is still alive. He thought that this will be the day he dies, a fitting end considering this is where all his trauma began. You will then have 2 options that will end the quest and grant him a new set of armor. The first one will make him repent for his actions and he will go on with his life trying to help and protect others. The second one will make him bloodthirsty, seek out actively his targets, and make them feel the might of his wrath. Boone's endings will vary upon if he is still alive, if you completed his personal quest and how you resolved it, and who won the second battle of Uvedam. If he died, his inability to move on from his past got the best of him, and the Mojave finally granted him his death wish. If Boone was made bloodthirsty and the answer won, he realized that even vengeance wouldn't give him peace, so he journeyed back to California, found the officer who led the attack on Bitter Springs, shot her dead, and then ended his own life. If Caesar won, enraged after the Legion victory, Boone set up a suicide mission against its soldiers. He killed many legionaries before being captured and crucified. Before his crucifixion, he was brought before the legate, who expressed his admiration for Boone's reckless abandon. Boone spat tobacco in his eye for all of Caesar's armies to see. If House won or you chose an independent New Vegas, Boone's conscience seemed to have vanished. He became the greedy mercenary, never scared to do violence as long as the caps were good. If Boone became repentant and the answer won, he re-enlisted with the 1st Recon Unit and spent his lifetime hunting slavers. If the Legion won, refusing to give up arms, Boone started a deadly campaign against the high-ranking Legion officers. Even if the reward for his head became an all-time high, no one dared to pursue him in fear of losing their own lives. If House won or you chose an independent New Vegas, Boone remained here, finding a work as a security guard and caravan scout along the highways. Even though he wanted to re-enlist with the 1st Recon Unit, he couldn't bring himself to abandon the city where he had met his wife. On the next video, we will talk about your robotic companion Edie, and after that it will be about Veronica. Thank you for watching, and see you later!